All right, here we are back on page 324 where it says solve real world problems. We're going to be doing numbers 15 and 16 for right now, and then we're going to be cutting and pasting things into our journal, so get ready for that. Ready? Number 15. The directions say solve real world problems. Brian was tiling a patio and ran out of tiles. The width of the remaining area is 2/3 yard. The length of the remaining area is 4 yards. What is the area Brian has left to tile? The color that we're going to use for area is this apricot or peach color. They're asking for the area. So we do length times width. The width was 2/3. The length is 4. So length times width would be 4 times 2/3. In order to multiply a fraction by a whole number, you have to throw a 1 underneath it, extend the bar, even if it looks crazy like that, and multiply straight across. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. You have to fix that. How many times will 3 go into 8? Twice. With how many left over? 2. The denominator is stubborn and stays. So the area that he has left to tile is 2 2/3, and because it's area, we have to say square yards. So let's write it in a sentence. Brian has 2 2/3 square yards left to tile. That was not so bad. Number 16. Riley knows that the area for the face painting station is 166 square feet. She knows that the length of the rectangular area is 12 feet. How wide is the area? So again, they gave us the area this time, and they gave us one of the sides. So what are we going to do to find the width? We're going to have to divide. So we take 166 divided by 12. 12 goes into 1? Nope. 12 goes into 16. Go ahead and do this division and see what you get. What do you think we should do with this? I've got a 13 remainder 10. I could try to do it in a decimal form. I don't think I would ever choose to do decimals unless there was a decimal already in my problem. So I think I'm just going to circle it and bring it as my remainder. Well, something about 10/12 is you need to simplify. You cannot leave it as 10/12. So you take the 10/12 and you decide, what can I divide both of those by? 2. And you get 5/6. So the answer is 13. But then you had to simplify the fraction, so it's 13 and 5/6. How wide is the area? The area is 13 and 5/6 feet wide. That is a really complicated way to word that, because when I say the area is, it makes me think that I have to put square feet as the answer. But it's asking how wide is the area? How wide is it? The area is 13 and 5/6 feet wide. Okay, that's how wide it is. All right, hopefully that made sense. Let's go. Let's do number, I don't know, I like number 17. We're going to try number 17. Kobe needs to know the area and perimeter of his farm property. The length of his property is 1/12 mile, and the width is 3/8 mile. What is the area? What is the perimeter? Woohoo! We get to find both the area. So we're going to be multiplying them together to get the area. And then for perimeter, we're going to have to add all sides. So I think a problem like this, it's worth drawing a rectangle so that you can think it through. Let's just throw these numbers in there. The length of the property is 1/12 miles. The width is 3/8. Now, obviously, my model does not match the numbers. In fact, it doesn't match it at all. 1/12 is a smaller fraction than 3/8. So I would maybe redraw my model to be something like that so that it matches more. But it actually doesn't matter. It's okay if your model's not perfect. You just need to know that when you're finding the area, you multiply those two fractions together. So the area, you're going to go 1/12 times 3/8. I would simplify that first because 3 and 12 have a relationship. So you can divide each one by 3, and you would get 1 on top and 4 on bottom. So now it's 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 8 is 32. The area is 132 miles squared. So we're going to say the area is 1/32 or 132 miles squared. Or you could say square miles. I actually think square miles sounds better in this case, so I am going to rewrite it. Just abbreviate square and then miles. And the perimeter is, I also didn't need to capitalize that A in area. Sorry about that. What is the perimeter? The perimeter means I have to add 3/8 plus 3/8. See, sometimes people forget that you have to add both sides. They just add those two together. No, you have to do 3/8 plus 3/8, which is 6/8. Then you have to do 1/12 times 1/12. Not times, sorry. 1/12 plus 1/12. Remember, when you add, the denominators are stubborn and stays. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So I've done it this way so that they can already be stacked up. That's pretty helpful because I have to add these partial sums together. Too bad that bell's not your done time, huh? 6/8 plus 2/12. I have to get the 8 and 12 to be the same number. Have to find the least common denominator. Do you know what it is? It's 24. How did I get from 12 to 24? I times by 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Wiki wiki. How did I get from 8 to 24? I times by 3. And 6 times 3 is 18. Wiki wiki. 18 24ths plus 6 24ths. Do you know what that would be? $18 plus 6. Well, 24 is stubborn and stays on the bottom. And 18 plus 6 is 24. What? So 24 over 24 is just one whole. So what is the perimeter? It's 1 mile. That's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Okay, that's how we solved those problems. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting some pieces up and finishing up our journal. So what I want us to do is to flip it back to page 323 and get your scissors out and a glue stick. And I want these things carefully cut out. So watch how I'm going to do this. I want to cut out number 7 and number 9. Barely though, so like get it as close to your pencil marks as you can. Number 7 and number 9. Leave that gaping hole there. cut really close to the numbers and letters. This is kind of what I have right now. And then I'm going to cut those apart. Just cut them in half. So I literally have a number 7 in my hand and a number 9 in my hand. That's what you should have. We're going to be doing that in our journal on that first page. So we're just going to be putting some examples of perimeter and area. I don't want it to look like this is the perimeter side and that's the area side. So we're going to put them pretty low on here. And we're just going to kind of do these little squiggle lines that are examples of both. I get both colors in there. Okay, that's actually a really pretty coral color. All right, get those glued in or taped in, and we're not done yet. So then you're gonna flip your journal over. And what we're gonna do on the other side is actually really important as well. So pay attention as we turn the page to the other side. You still have a workbook page that we're working on. So here is how we're gonna do this next page, okay? We are going to be doing number 19 and number 20. So we're going to cut out just the story problems, not even the blue line. 19 and 20. We don't need the blue lines. But watch, I want 19 and 20. Are you watching? Then I want the solve real world problems with a little bit of the green. I think that's good to have it as a lesson title on the back. Okay, so I kept the title, Solve Unit 8, Lesson 3, Solve Real World Problems. Then I kept numbers 19 and number 20. But I'm going to cut numbers 19 and 20 apart. So I will end up with 3 small pieces for the back. I don't want the blue lines, just want the story problems. This is much better than us handwriting all of these story problems, so I wouldn't complain. So we have the solve real world problems. I'm going to put that at the very top here. And then we're going to have number 19 right underneath it. We're going to give number 19 a lot of space. And then we're going to have number 20 down the page a little bit further. These are the only 2 things we're doing back on this side of the journal. So as soon as we finish these, you will be good to go. Okay, here we go. Number 19. Margot wants new carpet. You'll have to push pause on the video if you are falling behind. All these other random pieces, just so you know, you can toss in the garbage. Okay? Push pause on the video until you're ready. Margot wants new carpet and a new wallpaper border for her bedroom. The room is 5.4 meters long and 4.78 meters wide. About how many square meters of carpet will she need? About how many meters of wallpaper border will she need? So the word about just tells me that you're going to still be doing the math, and you can use rounding and estimation to check your work. I would like us to just solve the problem. Okay, so when we are doing carpet, we're laying carpet. Remember, laying carpet is a surface or an area example. So let's go ahead and turn the page back, and let's find out how much carpet she's going to need. Okay, so we're just going to put a little section over here that says carpet. When I'm doing the carpet, that is area. So I'm using that area color. Okay, length times width. 5.4 meters and 4 7/8 meters wide. So we'd be doing length times width. It is 5.4 meters long. And how wide is it? 4.78. Not 4.78, sorry, 4 7/8. That's it. There is a difference. What? How am I going to multiply a decimal by a fraction? You can't. You're going to need to switch one of these, either this one into a fraction or that one into a decimal. I think I would go with fractions, because 5.4 is the same as 5 and 4/10, right? That's what 5.4 really is 5 and 4/10. So now I've got them both into fraction form, and I can multiply them. In order to multiply them, I need to do multiply then add. 10 times 5 is 50, plus 4 is 54 over 10. Next one. Multiply then add. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 7 is 39 over 8. Because the denominator is stubborn and it stays. I have really weird numbers. 54/10 and 39/8. That's okay. Multiplies cross, extend the bar. 54 and 8. They can both definitely be divided by 2. I think they can both be divided by 4, but I'm not exactly sure. Actually, I don't think they can be both divided by 4. I think it might only be 2. All right, well, let's divide them by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 54 divided by 2 is 27. You're welcome. If you didn't know that, you'd have to set it up. So now I'm looking at, okay, 27 times 39 and 10 times 4. Is there any other relationship that we can divide with or use? I don't think so. Okie doke. Let's do it. 27 times 39. I'm finding the top number right now. It's a big problem. Go ahead and do all this multiplication. If you don't remember how to do it, you better get some help from me. Don't forget that 0 for place value. I actually think I just did that wrong. 3 times 7 is 21. Then 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Thank goodness I checked that. Add the partial products. My top number, 27 times 39, is 1,053. And then what's 10 times 4? So it's 1,053 over whatever 10 times 4 is, 40. You cannot leave it like that. So then it changes into a division problem. Man, this is super interesting that they made us do it like this. This is crazy. Okay. Let's go ahead then and divide it. $40 does not go into 10, but it will go into 105. 40 times 2 is 80. If you did 3, it's too much. So it's got to be 2. And when you put the 2 above the 5, you have to subtract 80 and line it up in the right place, right under the 5. 10 minus 8 is 2. So bring down the last one. How many times will 40 go into 253? Well, 4 times 6 is 24. It's too high. So it's going to have to be 5 times. 40 times 5 is 200. I'm doing that in my head. It's going to have to be 6. Sorry. That was too much. Too little. 40 times 6 is 240. It does work, so it's got to be 6. And then I get left with 13/40. I would do the fraction for sure because it would be way too hard to do the decimal. And 13 is a prime number, so you can't simplify that because it doesn't share any factors with 40. So that is crazy. That is the area. How much carpet will they need? They will need 26 and 13/40 meters squared of carpet. And then let's find the perimeter. This is going to be much easier, okay? Remember, perimeter is the wallpaper border. So we'll just say wallpaper. And now we're going to do some wallpaper work. Multi-step problems. Hang in there, you can do this. Okay, wallpaper. So wallpaper is the perimeter. That is a border type problem. Okay, so we're going to add all sides. So I'm going to add 5.4 and 5.4, 4 and 7/8, and 4 and 7/8. I'm just going to actually use them as fractions. 5 and 4/10 plus 5 and 4/10 equals 10 and 8/10. Then I'm going to add 4 and 7/8 plus 4 and 7/8 equals 8 and 14/8. Oh, you couldn't see that the whole time, sorry. And then you add those together, so I'll give you a second to catch up to that. I think I know why they use the word about. They probably were willing to let us just use rounding instead of use all these crazy numbers, but it's okay. Okay, when I take 10 and 8/10 and I try to add it to 8 and 14/18, these have to have the same denominator. So what can you change 10 and 8 to? I know this is going to sound crazy, but the smallest number that works is 40. How did I get from 8 to 40? I times by 5. And 14 times 5? I have no idea. So I'm going to do the work right here. It's 70. Wiki wiki. How did I get from 10 to 40? I times by 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. Wiki wiki. 32/40 plus 70 is 102 over 40. 10 plus 8 is 18. You can't leave it. You have to fix that. How many times will 40 go into 102? Only twice. That would be an 80. So the denominator stubborn and stays as 40. But what is 102 minus 80? It's 22. And guess what? You have to simplify. Oh my gosh, this problem's insane. It's so fun. Okay, so don't forget you still have that 18. And then you still have the 2. But now you're simplifying. And 22 and 40 can both be divided by 2. And I think you get 11/20. That is insane. And then you had the 2 and you had the 18. So that is the wallpaper. That's crazy. So we found the actual how many square meters of carpet will she need. We could have rounded. Man, if we would have rounded this to just 5, 4 and 7/8 to 5, and that to 5.5, it would have been a lot easier. Sorry about that. Good job hanging in there. Let's write it, though, in a sentence. How many square meters of carpet will she need? She will need, the carpet one is over here, 26 and 13/40. And it's carpet, and you're laying it down, so it's square meters of carpet. And 20 and 11/20 meters of wallpaper border. Woo! That was a crazy problem. Next time when it says about, let's force Miss Fisher to use rounding, okay? It would have been a lot easier to use better numbers. That was crazy. Number 20, we're going to hustle through this one. Thomas has a garden with a length of 2.45 meters and a width of 5/8 meters. Use benchmarks to estimate the area and perimeter. Yay! I get another chance, and this time we are going to estimate. We're going to be estimating for the area and the perimeter. So write that off to the side. So when we estimate, we get to use rounding. So to find the area, we do length times width. What is 2.45 really close to? It is really close to 2.5. Well, let's do it as a fraction. Because 2.45 is close to 2.5. So that's why I did it as 2.5. And we're going to times it by 5/8. 5/8 is really close to a half because that would be 4/8. So we're just going to multiply it by a half. Okay? That's much easier. 2.5 times a half. Multiply, then add. 2.5 into a fraction, you should just know, is 3/2. Otherwise, you would know it's 5/2. Woo! Better fix that. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5/2. Don't flip anything, you're multiplying. Right? You got to fix that 5/4. So the area equals, well, 1 1/4 square meters. That is the area. I'm just going to let you circle it like this. And then the perimeter, we're using the same numbers. We're going to use the same benchmark. So we're going to go 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. Remember, you add all sides. So those two added, 2 plus 2 is 4. 1/2 plus 1/2 is another, so you're going to have 4 and 2/2, or another 1. And then 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. So you have 4 plus 1 plus 1 equals 6 meters. Because we didn't multiply, we added. The perimeter, 6 meters. Wow, thank goodness that we held in there for a much easier one using benchmarks and estimating. Thanks for hanging in on that super hard one. Now you're going to know how to do all the hard ones because you got this. We are done with our math journal video, and you just need to spend the next couple minutes watching the first. I'm going to have you make sure you watch the first 5 minutes of that next instruction video so you can see all of the different modeling. So you only have to work, after this math journal, you only have to watch the first 5 minutes of the next video. Catch you next time.